Welcome back to Give Me Liberty TV. I'm W.A. Mitchell, your host, and I've got some really good news for you, ladies and gentlemen. For the folks that did see our first show, and we're sitting around going, well, how do we contact them? You can do that now. If you have any comments, whether they be good or bad, do you have any ideas for us? Drop us a line. How do you do that? How about GML-TV.wordpress.com? We'll give you that address again at the end of the show and maybe sometime during the show itself. But to recap, who are we at Give Me Liberty TV? We're a group of Americans, and we are pro-government. Yes, pro-government. The government for the people and by the people. And that government will not perish with your help. So, come on along for the ride. We're going to stop the growth of federal government. We're going to try to shrink the size of federal government. And that's just not Give Me Liberty TV. That's you and I. We need to do this. We need to go back to our roots. And that root is... oh, where'd it go? This is our roots, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Constitution of the United States. The finest legal document ever written. And I'd like to start the show off with a thanks. A hearty, heartfelt, warm thanks. And I would like to thank President Barack Hussein Obama, Mrs. Pelosi, Speaker of the House, Mr. Reid, and other prominent Democrats and liberals, like Representative Claiborne from South Carolina, who, well, I'm going to paraphrase it for you, said, most of what we do here in Congress is unconstitutional. Now, these are the same individuals, and your representative raised their right hand and swore that they would uphold the Constitution of the United States against all enemies. I'm going to repeat that for you. All enemies, foreign and here's the big and, domestic. Well, folks, you're becoming part of the domestic part of the problem. But let's get back to the thanks. I want to thank you people for doing what you've done to try to grab power for the federal government, whether it be the legislative branch or the executive branch. As you can probably tell, I'm a child of the 60s and 70s. And during that time, it was pretty rough for a lot of Americans. There were people in the streets, there were people on college campuses protesting the establishment. And it was a people power movement. Well, Mr. Obama, well, Mrs. Pelosi, well, Mr. Reid, you've done it again, and I thank you for that. You have awakened a sleeping giant. You've awakened middle-class America. You have awakened Americans. And more and more and more of us are becoming aware of what you're trying to do. And that's make an end run around this and to grab power for yourself. Well, I'm here to tell you, President Obama, Mrs. Pelosi, and Mr. Reid, not going to work, because Americans will stop you. Kind of reminds me of, well, I'm going to give you a bit of a warning, folks. Not you Americans, I'm talking about our leaders. One of my favorite authors is Mr. Tom Clancy. Excuse me. And on one of the book jackets on the back, and it was a quote inside the book, he said, if you're going to kick a tiger in the ass, you better have a plan for his teeth. Well, folks, I think you've already done the kicking, and you've got no plan for the teeth. And that teeth is me and the American people. Excuse me again. Well, that's my thanks for now. Let's hope I can continue to thank you until we, the people, take back the United States of America. Here at Liberty TV, we want to unite because this is the United States of America. Whether you be a teabagger, whether you be a 912er, whether you be an astroturfer, an independent, a right-thinking Democrat, a Republican, basically if you're a real American, come join us. Come join us. Let your voices be heard. I want you to make your voices heard. Call your congressman. Call your representative. Call your senators. Call them. Let them know that this is what they swore to uphold and defend. Well, folks, we've got to unite. And that's a simple truth. The Liberal Democratic Party has been organizing for over 40 years. And they've all but got it down to a science, folks. You can see that in their efforts in things like ACORN, SEIU. I could go on and on. But time is short, and we've got work to do. We need to become one. We need to lock arms and march ahead and take back our country. So, in that vein, all the people that I mentioned and you need to get a hold of whatever organization you feel most comfortable with. Whether it be Give Me Liberty TV, whether it be the 912 group, whomever, it doesn't make any difference. Offer your services, whether it be making phone calls, writing letters, or just simply showing up at a protest, or showing up as a part of an anti-pro rally, whatever. You've got to do it, folks. We have to take our country back. If you listen to the politicians, they're always, you'll hear them say every once in a while, well, when I'm elected, I want you to hold my feet to the fire. We're past that, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to take a blowtorch to those feet and move them in a direction that our founders wanted. Small government is the way it started. And I'm not just bad-mouthing, for lack of a better term, liberals, because the Republicans and the, quote, neocons have started to grab their own share of power. We need to get them back to this. We need to basically make them, force them, impel them to uphold their oath. But they swore that oath. I know when I make an oath, I keep it. And I did raise my hand, and I did swear to uphold the Constitution. For all you men and women out there that either are wearing the uniform or has worn the uniform,